Good evening. We went and saw A Good Day to Die Hard, and we're going to talk about it. Talk about how to enjoy it.
We're changing the format?
So, Barry, why don't you let us know what you thought of A Good Day to Die Hard?
I had a lot of gripes with it. I would just say...
This is by far, by the way, the lowest rated of all the Die Hards that have come out.
It seemed very hollow. I mean, it was one of those movies that if they might have just taken the Die Hard name off, it would... I don't know if people would be equally as mad about it or upset with how bad it was, or if they would kind of give it more leeway because it's not associated with the franchise that they love. But I didn't... It just kind of jumped around from one action scene to the next, and that was about it. I had a fun time watching it because after about the first 10 minutes, I realized what it was going to actually be like, and the group of people I was with, we just made a drinking game out of it, so that made it a lot of fun. So that was about the long and the short of my experience with it. I really don't have much to say. It was just, I felt like Bruce Willis was just kind of phoning it in. I don't see that kid taking over the franchise. So, on par with any of the other Die Hards, way below? Probably the worst of the 5, I would say. It had some cool stunts and some cool action. Like, big thumbs up to those guys. Everybody, like the rest of it, the script and everything technical about it, meh.
Yeah,
meh.
I would say just about the same, but I was really disappointed in the humor, the one-liners. They kept reusing the same one-liners.
That was, most of the one-liners were our...
This is my vacation.
Yeah.
That was our cue to drink, and it did its job.
And, just...
I'm just on vacation.
It's Die Hard. It's so easy to write one-liners. And why reuse the same one over and over? And also, as soon as I knew they were going to Chernobyl, I knew there was going to be a joke about Bruce Willis losing his hair, and I knew it was going to be the son who made it, and I knew that he was going to say, I'm you in a few years, and fucking, I wasn't let down. There's so many times they could have broke up the action with good jokes or one-liners or...
He also just seemed like an asshole. Like, he just seemed like a real big asshole throughout the whole... Yeah. Bruce Willis.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kind of came and just messed everything up. It kind of felt like a generic, spy thriller type movie, and they, threw Die Hard, they threw John McClane into it, and just let him, wreck stuff. It seemed really, I don't know, he seemed really out of place.
And does he have a history of that? I mean, is his history making things worse before he makes them better?
Well, he's like a fly in the ointment, but...
Well, I mean, he's the classic, in every one of these big cop action movies where they cause a lot of destruction, a lot of chaos, a lot of craziness, but they get the bad guy in the end.
Yeah. I just felt like...
And the chief's always upset with them because they caused millions of dollars in damage.
He just was a little bit too bumbling, I thought.
There was no... I also just didn't, bad guys were coming, but, I just didn't care at all. There was... I don't know. As soon as they left when they started changing scenes a lot more, I don't know, it just started losing me. I don't know, I guess it's the whole Die Hard, the first one, that it's all taking place in this one building and he has to use his environment.
Yeah.
And, he's new to it and everything like that. And you would think that all those things were being hit with this movie, but it was just failing on every time.
And man, they crushed so many cars in the first scene. You just get tired of it. You get tired of seeing cars crushed.
I wonder how many people he killed. It's kind of like kind of like the Batman thing, where he's just running over a bunch of cars, with a tank or
how many?
A giant truck.
He ran this truck over all these cars, and he goes,
ran over them.
He's like,
waiting in traffic. Yeah.
Excuse me, coming through. And it's he's murdering all these people.
I just also did not like his self-talk. It seemed much more like dementia than humor. Just in the first one, him talking to himself. I don't know. I guess there's the idea of the claustrophobia of it. Is what really appeals to me in the first one. And that things have consequences. Like, this one's like, okay, I think there's snipers coming in here and someone's running to the door. Let's just murder them all. He's just people are still running in.
That and...
No sense.
In the other ones, he's kind of thrust into a position where he has to fight his way out. But this one, they just kept going looking for it. I just feel like it didn't really fit his character. but I'm not the biggest Die Hard aficionado. But
yeah, there wasn't really any creative or imaginary action scenes. Nothing. They didn't really add much to anything. But
yeah,
really, I mean, it's
Die Hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we're
a pretty
trashing
generic
it too much, but
action movie.
I feel like saying it's Die Hard, though. I mean, yeah, granted that the movies started going downhill, but that meant something, too, at a start. You know, like...
Well, the first two...
this is, like, proving to me that franchises just need to... Sometimes they just don't need this. Like, don't even make another Die Hard movie.
You know what I would have really liked?
Just forget about it. Let's just make some... I think that type of movie's dying. There's this... I mean, you know, there's no, like... Look at all the ones... I was reading a Grantland article over it, and they were like, saying... You know, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, like all these kind of like what you would think of those typical action movies. We don't really have them as much. You know, those are people like the stars now, the action stars now do other things. You know, they're not just brainless activity like that.
Yeah, and I would have liked it much better if his son didn't like to kill people or something, and maybe he kept trying not to kill people. And McClane, the dad, I don't know. There's so many things they could have done, but. Just didn't even take the time to even try.
You kind of touched on earlier, the first two are in one location, enclosed. You know, you got an airport and an office building. That, to me, added a lot of the fun to the Die Hard movies. I think it's a bummer they've gotten away from that. You know, 3, 4, and 5 have all been you know, in a giant city.
3 feels claustrophobic too, though, because 3 he's constrained by this guy who's controlling him.
Yeah, 3's fun.
No, I liked 3 too, but just it was missing what the first two had for me.
The fourth one, all of them have a reason except this one. They should have just walked away. What the fuck, man?
I guess
they're obtain his objective.
Most of the problems that I had were our rules of our drinking game. It was just things that we knew were going to be repetitive, and that you could call within the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of watching the movie. I especially. You know, I get Die Hard as the name of it, but it went to like a preposterous level of them escaping death and all these. You know, like on a 30-story building, and they just blindly run out and jump out of a window.
They did that twice. Pretty much.
Nope.
He's unbreakable.
Nope, wouldn't do it.
But he went into water. He fell in water.
Unbreakable.
It's a Die Hard movie. You'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Die Hard movies, if you like mindless action,
if you like Die Hard movies, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, you'll like it.
3, 4, and 5.
We're being overly critical.
All right. This week we got Dark Skies and what was the other one? Dark Skies coming out and
The
Snitch. Yes, thank you.
I'm super excited for Dark Skies. I've been waiting for it. The preview, it leaves a ton up in the air. Producers of Insidious, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Looks creepy.
Aliens, I love aliens.
Yeah.
Don't come after me. Lou's terrified of aliens. Don't take her to this.
They're not quite as scary as ghosts, but
they're
pretty scary still.
They're definitely more terrifying.
They're easily defeatable compared to ghosts, but aliens are still fun.
Ghosts can't hurt you unless you let them hurt you, unless you fear them.
You don't know anything about either movie, so
nope.
You're not going to add a lot to this.
Not
Snitch, you looking forward to Snitch?
Snitch looks good.
Dwayne
Johnson.
He's always good.
One thing I overhear in theaters, and I always think about writing this down, but one thing I always overhear when there's a preview with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah, let's call him
Rock. Someone always goes, I like The Rock.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
People just like
He's
The
awesome.
Rock, man.
He's great.
He's a nice guy. Just a good guy.
Fast 6 looks wonderful.
Why do you have to bring that up every podcast?
Because it looks great. I'm really excited for that. There's an action movie that does, as a franchise, that does it right compared to Die Hard. That would be my example. Way better.
Whoa,
man.
All right, so I think 2 pretty solid movies coming out this week.
Definitely.
Look a lot of fun, but
I
guess we'll find out.
I'm up for either one. I like not knowing anything about.
We'll go see Dark Skies. We haven't done an alien movie in a long time.
Aliens are more terrifying than ghosts.
Snitch is just another action movie, probably. So we've done a lot of those recently. All right,
I'm down.
What's the special coming up, Barry?
Well, next Sunday is Oscar Sunday, so we're going to go through our list of things that films and actors that we want to win, and then the ones that we expect to win, and then after next week we'll compare our answers and results, and
the loser gets slapped by both
at the same time.
All right. Thanks for watching.